So, alright, pretty soon by next decade, humanity will be embroiled in global societal breakdown and anarchy due to extreme temperatures, weather-related disasters, crop failure, migration, war, and rampant diseases, to name a few. By then, the borders of our carefully divided nations will be flooded with refugees from all corners of the globe, where human habitability has become no longer feasible year-round. And it's not like we've been warned about this many times in the past century, in fact, multiple times. We even had global meetings between nations who agreed that we need to stop and change course. In reality, there was only words, and no actual concrete plans of action to save ourselves from obliteration. Because that sounds fine, right?
Right?
But no, it's even worse than you imagine. Instead, they kept pumping money into fossil fuel projects, which was the exact opposite direction that we needed to head if we were to even stand a chance at mitigating and prolonging the suffering that would ensue. So by the consequence of our collective inaction, and I do mean collective as in China, Russia, India, and so forth, Earth is currently in the midst of abrupt and irreversible climate change. Our planet's energy imbalance is accelerating at an exponential rate, causing Earth's delicate balance to tip out of control permanently, meaning the energy coming in is increasing and being consistently absorbed by the oceans, land, and cryosphere faster than it can bounce back and escape into space. What this means is the global average temperature keeps rising, and despite the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, global warming has tripled in the last 20 years. Why? Because enormous carbon emissions and self-reinforcing feedback loops. Yeah, you heard that right. Truth is, we fucked the planet so hard that it started to backfire on us. The oceans are becoming deoxygenated, which is causing massive marine die-offs. The Amazon is being cut and burned so fast that it's now a net emitter of carbon emission instead of sequestering. And the Siberian permafrost is melting and releasing even more greenhouse gases. A new paper published this year finds the Earth's ecosystems are degrading even more rapidly due to rising temperatures. These are just a few of the positive feedback loops in our already disrupted Earth climate system. There are at least a dozen self-reinforcing feedback loops that have already been activated and set in uncontrollable motion. Many more are expected to follow suit as the global average temperature inevitably rises. Well, what if we stopped emitting greenhouse gases and converted to zero carbon renewables? Well, I ask, how do we build and maintain all this stuff? With magical fairy dust taken from Biden's scalp? Huh? To make matters worse, even if we did reverse course on emitting greenhouse gases in the form of industrial activity, the aerosols from our current industrial output are actually masking additional planetary warming by almost a degree centigrade. So ceasing industrial activity would result in higher average temperatures experienced worldwide, which would then result in even more tipping points being crossed in the form of self-reinforcing feedback loops, and ultimately more chaos and higher energy demands. The truth is, we waited too late. I anticipate the Arctic to be completely ice-free by the 2030s, and considering we depend on seasonally predictable weather patterns to grow, store, and distribute grain at scale, this does not bode well for most of the world's population's calorie intake. How do we solve problems with inadequate calories? We depend on the world's poorest to be able to support our lavish lifestyle here in the West. So you can say goodbye to Coca-Cola, medicine, Band-Aids, and practically everything you find in your local grocery store. So what do? There is nothing to be done, and you cannot survive it. Finding acceptance of our predicament is one of the best routes. Live fully. Live present. Tackle your bucket list and make peace with your enemies if you feel so inclined. Clear your conscience. Enjoy today, because there is no guarantee of tomorrow. Literally, there is no tomorrow.